Hey, what's up, guys? It's Motivation by Moses. Just finished another amazing workout. So today I just want to talk to you guys about how I've been able to stay lean all year round and what do I do and the kinds of food that I eat. All right. So I'm gonna tell you about my journey a little bit real quick before I get into it, right? So I started doing calisthenics in around 2008, 2007, and I was about like 18 or 19 years old around that time. And I started my first calisthenic workout ever was with JR from Team Beast Mode. He put me through a crazy workout back in the day. It was grueling and intense, but I didn't give up, and I knew I loved calisthenics from there on. And then I started going to Wingate Park around like 2008. That's where it all began for me, my journey into calisthenics and fitness. I met a lot of great guys at that park. As you guys know, I'm an original member of Team Wingate. I'm part of the Team Wingate, so I've been part of Team Wingate since I was like 19 years old. And from then, from like 2008 to 2013, I did calisthenics for those 5 years, and I was always camera shy back then. I didn't want to be on camera, and all these great athletes that I trained with, such as Doc, I don't know if you guys know Doc from Team Wingate, D-Real from Team Wingate, Abs from Team Wingate, Twin, Jomo, B-Rock, all these great guys, had the opportunity to train with Juice, Beast, Armstrong, Juice, JR. So all these guys, Zeph, and so I was training with this guy. So I did calisthenics from 2008 to 2013. And then from 2013 to 2019, I was boxing like as a standout amateur boxer. I was able to win a lot of tournaments, New York Golden Glove tournaments, the Metro boxing tournament. I was able to go to the nationals. I was able to go to the Olympic qualifier and etc. as a boxer. And during my time boxing, I was not doing calisthenics at all, because boxing takes a lot out of your body. Boxing is very, very, very grueling. Workouts every day are like 2-3 hours of just doing boxing training, and by the time I'm done with boxing training, I have little to no energy to do like calisthenic training. Like my main focus was just like doing core exercises. So when I was done with boxing in 2019, I was ready to get back into calisthenics, and it was crazy when I came back to calisthenics. I was known as a beast. Like, I was battling these guys in the park back in the day, putting in work. All the top dudes, they know who I am. And when I came back in January 2019 to start doing calisthenics again, that time my joints were destroyed from boxing and overuse, and I wasn't doing self-care then. I wasn't taking care of my body in terms of like therapy and massages and stuff like that. So when I came back to calisthenics, I was only doing, I was only able to do 5 push-ups, and I was only able to do 5 pull-ups. I couldn't do any dips at all. So the problem was my joints were all unstable, right? So my body couldn't hold itself up. So I had to like rehab myself. I didn't go to a therapist. I just did a lot of reading. I did a lot of studying. I started focusing more on mobility, focusing more on muscle release, focusing more on joint stability. That's why I always preach like clean form now, right? So I focused more on that. I had to rehab myself back to close to be where I was when I first started calisthenics, that first 5 years. And fortunately enough, I was dedicated and disciplined to be able to bounce back. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys now. So along the journey, I started, what I do now is basically every day I do something called intermittent fasting, right? But the reason why I had to tell you my whole backstory was I started doing, the first type of fasting I ever started doing was called a warrior diet, right? So I started doing the warrior diet in 2012, 2013 when I started boxing, right? Because before I started boxing, I was around 170 pounds. So, and when I got into boxing, I had to cut weight for my fights. So as an amateur, I was fighting at 152 and 141. So I had to cut all of that mass and muscle I had from calisthenics. I had to cut all of it down to be able to make weight for my fights. So I started doing something called a warrior diet. I don't remember who the guy was. I don't know what the guy's name is, but I remember reading a book called The Warrior Diet, and that was my introduction into fasting. So then warrior diet is basically where you only eat like fruits and nuts like during the day, and then during the evening time you have like your one big meal, right? So I did that for almost all of my boxing career, and what happened was like I started like dropping the weight, and of course boxing is very conditioning and aerobic geared, that you know you burn a lot of calories doing that also. So I was basically doing the warrior diet, and then that was in 2013, 2012, and then around 2015, that's when I really started doing like intermittent fasting. So I actually used intermittent fasting when I was boxing to like make weight. I was very, very, very lean making the weight. I felt strong also. And that was my transition into intermittent fasting. So what happened after I stopped boxing, I had like a little depression, and I gained a lot of weight because, you know, I stopped something else I love doing, and I stopped boxing because of like boxing politics, right? It was a lot of politics going on. I turned pro, and when I turned pro, I signed with like a new promotional company, and they were just starting off the ground, and well, they didn't do right by me, period. I can't talk too much into that because I could get sued. I had to sign a non-disclosure, but basically I was stuck in my contract for about like a year and change, and every time, well, I can't get too deep into that. So basically I wasn't able to get any fights, period. So I had to get out my contract. So lucky enough, I was able to get out the contract after like a year. And during that year, I was like, I was depressed, and I gained a lot of weight because I couldn't do what I love doing. And I had to find like something to spark me again, and I had to go back to what I started with, which was calisthenics, which I love doing. So once I realigned myself and I was able to get another new, get like a goal again for calisthenics, I started to like taking the fasting, intermittent fasting serious. So what I was able to do was, once I started, I was able to go from like 190 pounds to 155 pounds at 5% body fat. So I got really, really lean doing the intermittent fasting, which I was already doing something similar already during the time I was boxing. The warrior diet is like close enough to being intermittent fasting. So basically what I do is I eat between a time period, right? So I eat between, right now, for example, I eat between like 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. or 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. All right, prior to that, I don't eat anything at all. I'll just drink water, and then I'll have all my food intake between that time. So what I will tell you guys that worked for me, everybody is different, might not work for you, but all my clients, I've had over 300 transformations of people that I've trained personally over the years, and they all follow the same protocol that I follow. They all use intermittent fasting. you know, and it works for me and it works for them also. I'm not saying it's gonna work for you, but it might work for you. So basically what I do is, the best way to succeed is you have to have a plan. So on Sundays, I prep my meals, and on Wednesdays, I prep my meals again. All right, and what do I eat? I eat food that are high in nutrient density, right? So I pretty much stay away from fast foods, all right? And people always ask me, are you a vegan? Are you this? Are you that? I'm nothing, all right? I don't like to label myself. As you can see, it's over 8 billion people, 8 billion people on earth, and there's a variety of diets that you could partake in to make you lean, as long as you're eating whole, natural foods that are not processed or chemical, all right, or chemical foods. So there's a variety of different ways you can eat to get lean. It's just not one way. So you have to figure out what works for yourself. As for myself, I'm a pescatarian. I don't like labeling, but that's what they want to label me. I'm a pescatarian, but I eat mostly all cooked foods, right? So the best way for you to succeed is to have a plan. So what I do almost every day, I break my breakfast at 2 p.m. with the same meal every day. Now my other meals could vary for the day, but I pretty much eat the same thing for breakfast almost every day. What happens is, it's almost like a computer programming in my brain, because I've been doing that almost all the time. It creates a habit of me doing what? Of me staying consistent, right? Because if I eat that same meal every day, it sets my date. It sets the date for me, right? It's hard for me to deviate and start eating processed or foods that are not nutritious to my body. So what kinds of foods, and I'm not talking about, there's different kinds of foods that you could eat, and based on all the different categories that we have, which we have proteins, we have fats, and we have carbohydrates. And what I eat are foods that are whole and natural. So, you know, for example, I'm a pescatarian, so I eat fish. So I eat fish a lot for my protein, but I also get protein source from like beans, lentil, get protein source and good fats from like cashews, almonds, peanuts, stuff like that. So basically I eat things that are natural. I stay away from foods that are packaged, foods that are in cans and stuff like that. You know, I like my good carbs. I eat food that are high, they are low in glycemic index. So for example, I eat good carbs, like I eat foods like oatmeal, yams, potatoes, plantains, like food like that, food that are grown, right? Food that are natural, so I stay away from processed. I eat all kinds of vegetables, and I eat all kinds of fruits, and etc. Okay, so basically what I want you to tell you guys is, you have to eat cooked food, right? For example, pasta is not really food. Pasta is a food substitute, right? So there's a difference between food and food substitute. Like a donut is a food substitute. It's not really a meal. It's not nutritious for your body, right? So right now I eat about 4 meals a day, okay? And I eat about 4 meals a day. You know, as you guys follow my channel, last year I was pretty lean and shredded. I was like around 155 pounds. Now I walk around 170, 168 pounds, give or take. And I'm still, as you can see, pretty much, I'm still lean. I'm not as lean as I was when I was smaller, but I'm still pretty lean. And I was able to keep on the size without bulking up in a bad way, because I fast. So all I did was I just increased the amount of meals that I eat in my window. So I was able to gain that size and pretty much not gain too much fat and stay lean at the same time. So what I would advise you guys to do as a beginner, if you want to follow my methodology, is for you guys to start intermittent fasting. You could research and look into it. There's different kinds of intermittent fasting. You know, they have 16-8. They have 1 day on, 1 day off. They have 24. 16-8 is just where you fasting for 16 hours and you eat in an 8-hour window. And 24 is where you fast for 20 hours and eat in a 4-hour window. Right now, I don't follow a fasting protocol. I just go based on how my body is feeling. For the most part, I start eating at 2 p.m. Some days I don't eat at all. And you know, it's just, I just go based on my body is feeling. I really don't eat before I work out either, and sometimes my training is like 2-3 hours long and I still maintain my energy. I also take like natural foods, you know, like chia seeds, hemp seeds, maca powder, ginger. I take garlic, turmeric, so like all these natural herbs, I use that also when I make my shake or my smoothie. All right. And when I'm making my shake, you know, I like putting like fruits in it. So I put different fruits in there. I put banana for potassium. I put blueberries in it, antioxidants. I put strawberries in it. I like using nuts. So I sometimes use all different kinds of nuts, cashews, peanuts, or almond. I put chia seeds in it. I put hemp seed in it, maca powder, and etc. You know, you understand what I mean? So I don't use any protein powder. Well, I feel like this. Well, that's just me. I feel like there's no need to, because I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm just trying to be lean, you know, have mass, you know, and be strong. So that's basically what I use as a meal replacement. So you know, sometimes I drink 2 shakes a day, and I'll have my oatmeal and bananas to break my fast, and maybe I'll have 2 shakes. Then I'll have like yams with vegetables and like fish or something like that, you know. And I get creative with it sometimes too, where I try to find, because I like to eat bread, so I'll just eat a multigrain or a Ezekiel bread, and I'll have avocado like sandwiches or fish sandwiches and stuff like that. So, you know, that's pretty much how I eat and how I was able to like stay lean for the most part. And that's also how I was able to gain like 10 pounds of like muscle without gaining too much bad weight or gaining too much fat. As you guys can see in my channel, you can see the progression. At the end of this video, I'm gonna put a list of 100 like clean, healthy foods, and you guys could shop based on that. But my advice for you guys is to be prepared, is for you guys to have a plan, and you know, to stop eating so much processed meals and just stick to whole foods. And when you fast and you eat whole foods, your body will just naturally start shedding those fat. You'll just start shedding fat because your body will go into a state of ketosis. All right. But I had to let you guys know my entire journey to how I got to where I was and what I was doing to be able to get there and share this with you guys. Hopefully in a video in the future, I'm going to be able to tell you and show you guys like what I eat throughout the day. But what I eat throughout the day is not necessarily going to help you. You just have to make sure that you are not eating processed foods and you're eating cooked foods. What happens is when you start eating cooked foods, your body will do what it's meant to do, right? Because in nature, you only have whole, nutritious foods to eat. So your body will go back to doing what it's supposed to do, which is make you lean, trim, ready to go and ready to survive. And that's what I do. And as you do also know, in nature, you have to go look and hunt for your food. So food is not readily available. So basically you in a state of fasting most of the time because you have to go hunting for your food. All right. So I hope this helped some of you guys and shed a light into how I eat. And, you know, just please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be dropping a lot of these good informational videos, and you know, try to give you guys the best way for you to get to be healthy. All right, so just subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification button, and I'm gonna see you guys later. All right, peace and love. Motivation by Moses. I'm out.